Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my wildcard side for game week 6. I'm going to start off by looking at why you might want a wildcard or why you might want to put off your wildcard. Then we'll go through the side and stick around for the end because I will go through some different options and also look at some of the players that I deliberately missed out and why. So if you enjoy this sort of video, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, let's get stuck in. Before I talk about the wildcard side that I have put together for you, I'm just going to talk to you about why you would want a wildcard and perhaps more importantly why you might want to delay it for just a few more weeks. In here I have my example of my side at the moment and the players that I've got. I think this is fairly template side. You may have a few differences and they might be important. You might have a couple of Tottenham players. You might have a Madison and a Son. He was brought in quite heavily. You may have even tripled up with a Doggy and they have a couple of difficult fixtures coming up. You may have got rid of some of your Brighton players. Chelsea you may be unimpressed with. And I will say at the time of recording, still the Sunday matches are yet to be played. So there is some data and some unknown quantities. It may be with the European games that you've got one or two players that you're worried about rotation. So there may be good cause for you to decide now is the time to tear up your side and use your wildcard. Because remember, up until game week 20, I think it is, or just before then over Christmas, you will have to use that wildcard. Otherwise you just lose it and we'll get another one in the new year. For me, I do have a number of fires that I need to put out. I've got Rico Lewis that I'm worried about. He's just not playing at all. Matoma's fixtures are decent for the next couple of games, but then they do turn. So I'm going to hold on to my wildcard for at least a couple more weeks. And then maybe with game weeks 8 and 9, when Liverpool's fixtures look good, Villa have a nice run of fixtures as well, I may start to look at those players. But I think, put enough fires out with just my transfers. So that's my strategy, but yours may be different. I think with a couple of Tottenham players, I may be also forced to transfer them out sooner. Maybe a wildcard's the best way of doing that instead of taking a hit. So all of those things said and done, let's actually take a look at the side as if you were wildcarding in game week 6. So I am going to start off with Alfonso Areola in goal. Now he's not kept many clean sheets this season, but at 4.1 he is pretty cheap. His fixtures don't look great in terms of Liverpool and Sheffield, Newcastle coming up away. Villa would be a difficult fixture as well, you would think. Sheffield United at home is definitely one I'd be targeting for Alfonso. But for 4.1, I don't mind benching him for those games. And I am going to dovetail him and put him alongside Flecken at 4.5. He's done pretty well for a Brentford defence that's looking all right. Expected goals conceded is 1.19 and their fixtures look pretty decent. Everton at home, Burnley away. I am going to have a decision to make in 3 weeks' time when I've got Manchester United away with Flecken. But I think Brentford's defence looking good, 4.5. At the moment, there's just no standout goalkeepers around that price point. And I'm willing to spend more money, I think, on an Edison or even someone like an Allison at this moment in time. 4.5 Flecken, he looks a good shout to me. 2 clean sheets, 5 games so far. He looks right. Those are my 2 goalkeepers. They dovetail quite nicely. In defence, and I've got to go Chilwell, whether you're impressed with that Chelsea defence or not, and I guess we can't be that wildly impressed. He's played 4 games so far. This is before the Sunday match. And he's playing as a left winger. Now that alone is enough for me to invest in Ben Chilwell. Pochettino's even come out and said how much he's impressed and how creative he's been. So with the fixtures coming up, Villa at home won't be an easy game, but then Fulham away, Burnley away look really good fixtures. For the next 3 games, yeah, I'm definitely keeping Chilwell. He's pretty much as nailed as you can get in that Chelsea side. No European football to worry about. I think he's a great shout. He comes in, he's absolutely one for me to sort of set and forget for now. Kieran Trippier, he is expensive, but he loves eating up those bonus points as he has done already this weekend. His fixtures and Newcastle's fixtures look really good. There is a slight risk of rotation, and for 6.5, that might be enough to put you off. You could definitely downgrade to someone like a Botman or a Shaw, but with Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham Palace in the next four games, he's definitely one there. Newcastle is definitely a defence that I would like to target. Kept a clean sheet against Brentford. So that's good news as well. And with those fixtures coming up, he looks great. He is definitely the most creative player in that defence. Do you want to pay 6.5? that will have to something you have to go down and decide for yourself. Lucas Digne, 4.5. There is a little bit of a worry, I think, if Moreno comes in, but so far 5 games, 3 assists. He's exceeding his XGI. Fixtures look a little bit tricky in the next 2 games, but after that they ease up. And definitely for 4.5, I don't mind benching him for Chelsea away or even Brighton at home. Wolves away and West Ham at home, wouldn't mind getting him in for that. But he's got such attacking potential, and we've not seen that perhaps for a few years since he's at Everton. I think he didn't get 3 assists also in the Europa Conference League. So he's been doing really well. Hopefully he keeps his place, but we do need to keep an eye on Moreno, because last year he was probably in favour slightly more than Lucas Digne. But right now, Digne 4.5, I think he's a really good option. If he was playing in the FPL a couple of years ago, he would be much more expensive. And Villa look at a decent attacking side. Kyle Walker then, I do want to get onto that Manchester City defence. It was going to be him or Diaz. I'm just saving a little bit of money for Kyle Walker 5.2. I do think Diaz has a bit more goal threat from set pieces, so I could definitely see why you would go for him. But Forest at home, Wolves away. Difficult games against Arsenal and Brighton, but Manchester City, the best defence in the league. They can definitely keep a clean sheet against anyone. 5.2. He looks pretty nailed on, especially with the new contract signed. But I think possibly if you want to go Diaz, I wouldn't take much argument against me. I wouldn't put much of a fight up if you want to go Diaz instead of Walker. Either's looks pretty good. For me, 5.2, I'm just going to save a bit of money and go for Kyle Walker. He looks about as nailed as you can get in that defence. Lastly, a bit of a left field punt here. Tyreek Mitchell. I do like Palace's fixtures coming up over the next few weeks. Fulham at home and Forest at home look really good. They have got a couple of difficult ones, and their defence has been pretty good so far this season. 5 games, he picked up an assist. Palace perhaps just don't score many goals, so there is a lack of maybe of any sort of expected goal involvement from any of their players. 4.5, I'm happy to bench him. He's quite cheap, they're decent, and with 2 good fixtures, I'll be definitely playing him for Fulham and for that Forest home game, and then just benching him for the other 2. Let's move into midfield, and I think this is a little bit controversial, but Manchester United, despite the fact they've had so many troubles, their numbers they're putting up are still really good. XGI for Bruno Fernandes, 0.95. He's only got 1 goal, 1 assist in 5 games. Still really creative. Fixtures look decent, even though they had a nightmare against Brighton and they look a little bit off-field troubles as well. He hasn't got as many points as he perhaps could. I have to just really rely and trust those underlying numbers that it's going to come through. I think he's a decent. I haven't owned him this season. I think if I was wildcarding, I would be targeting those Man United fixtures. They still create chances. Away at Burnley doesn't get much better than that. Home to Palace, you'd expect them to score. Sheffield United and even Brentford in there. They get all games that Manchester United can score in. 8.4, Bruno would be 1. And I'm not just going to stop there. I think I would double up and go for Marcus Rashford as well. He's also got an out-and-out striker playing up front now as well, Højlund. So maybe that's going to help Manchester United in terms of Rashford getting assists and Bruno getting assists. Rashford, he's outperformed in terms of points for Bruno, but he hasn't got that XGI underlying stats. He's more in his favourite position now, wide left. I think he looks really good. I would be happy to double up on that Manchester United attack with those fixtures. On top of that, I have to, looking at those Villa fixtures as well, and they're so free scoring this season. Diaby's been brilliant. Underlying stats of 0.78. Fixtures next 2 games. I still think they can go to Chelsea and score. Brighton at home, I still think they can definitely score that. What's something ridiculous? Is it 9 games on a trot at home or something? Should really look that up. But Wolves away, West Ham, they look decent fixtures. 6.6, he looks great. Bit of a differential as well. I really like him. And another controversial pick, I think, 7.2. His underlying stats are still good. The fixtures look decent for the next 3 weeks. I would definitely be looking to move off him maybe in 3 weeks' time. 4 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Like I said, I am recording this before the Sunday game, so this could change quite drastically. But Raheem Sterling still, I think, his underlying stats look good. And he is in that Chelsea side without any European fixtures. 7.2 is a decent price. Oh, you just forget how good he is. He's out of the England squad. He's still got points to prove. Over the last few seasons, he's not lived up to perhaps his potential at Manchester City in those seasons, but he's still such a good player. He's in my side now. I don't intend on getting rid of him in the next few weeks. Let's see how he goes. Lastly, I think Mbomo has to be in at 6.8. He's just too good to refuse at that price. 4 goals already this season. Good fixtures coming up. Everton at home, Forest away. Doesn't get a lot better than that. Then you got Burnley away. 4 goals, good underlying stats, 6.8. There's not much to not like about him. Bomo nailed on for 90 minutes. He has to be in there. Up front, I'm not going to talk too much about him. He's just got great stats. Best player in the game. Matters not to have him. The fixtures don't even seem to matter. But if you put that into context and say that Forest at home, he has to be in. Haaland. Alongside them, I have gone quite cheap, and I'll explain that why. Carlton Morris, 4 goals, 4 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. His XG is okay, but with Wolves at home next, then that double with Everton and Burnley, even a Forest away, I'd hold him for the next 5 games, 4 game weeks. He looks a decent punt. Again, it is a bit of a punt, low ownership, big sort of a big differential, as you were, but underlying stats look decent. He's on penalties. It's just, how much do you trust that Luton attack? 5.5, don't mind benching him if it doesn't go right and moving on to someone else. And as you'll see, you do have the money to do that. Alongside him, I'm just going to go Cameron Archer for 4.5. He has obviously just moved to Sheffield United. He's only started, I think, 2 of the games. 1 goal, 1 assist. XGO not great, but he's overperformed that really. Fixtures look okay. Possibly be looking to play him against Fulham, but other than that, I think he'll be well left alone. So the side in total is undervalued for quite a bit, 97.1. You might have more value in this side depending on your transfers if you're moving them out and what value you've done so far in the transfer market. The reason for that value, really, I think, and leaving so much money in the bank, it does give you flexibility. Alvarez is one that you could definitely bring in up front if you wanted to upgrade. I think his fixtures look great. He's played every minute so far for Manchester City this season. Will that continue once the Champions League gets going? That will have to be a question we'll have to look at. But he gets great value, 6.7, 7 goal involvements in the first 5 games. He looks great. The one thing that I would definitely be wanting to do with their fixtures that are coming up is bringing in Mo Salah. Now, he's got 5 games, 5 goal involvements. He's got, I think I would not have him in this side immediately because West Ham at home isn't a bad fixture, but then Tottenham away and Brighton away doesn't look like fixtures I really want to bring him in for, and he's very expensive. You definitely could, but Everton at home, okay, in game week 10, I am definitely going to start bringing him in for that because their fixtures look fantastic after that. Hence, we've got some money in the bank to upgrade, maybe from a Fernandes or a Rashford, if you want to save money elsewhere, to bring him in. He definitely comes in. That's why I've left so much money in there, because he is just gone under the radar a bit. He's perhaps not hitting the levels he was a while ago. There was maybe a doubt as to what's going to happen with his future. But 5 goal involved in the last 5 games. Underlying stats look good. Still on penalties as far as we know. Liverpool still free scoring. So Mohamed Salah has got to be right on in our agenda. For the next 3 games, I think I would just hold fire. Again, if you wanted to play him from the start, I don't think I'll put too much of a fight up for him. Finally, I did want to talk about the fact that there's no Arsenal players in this side. Saka's been really good this season. Again, away at Everton's a good fixture, so I have to wait and see what he does then. I think Bournemouth away is a great fixture, but I'm just not sure whether, given the other assets and their prices, and I want to bring Salah in, whether Tottenham at home, Man City at home and Chelsea away are good enough fixtures in which to play him in. So I think I would I'll just bank him. I'll put him aside for now. Not interested. Maybe after those fixtures are over, look at a way to bring him back in. He's definitely a good asset to have. Underlying stats are really good. Plays 90 minutes. But also these fixtures, I think in 4 game weeks time, will give us a chance to see how Arsenal are rotating the squad during the Champions League. And how much is he going to play? Because he is going to have to be managed in a way that perhaps they haven't had to do, or Arteta had to do before, if they're going to take the Champions League seriously. And he can't play every single week, and the squad is bigger. So I'll be interested to see how that happens. In the meantime, I'm just going to put him to one side. Do think he's a great asset. Again, would I put up much of an argument if you put him inside? I think I would. I think Tottenham at home isn't an easy fixture. Bournemouth away is obviously great. Man City and Chelsea, with the amount of other options you've got in midfield, I don't think he is an absolute essential, and I just don't think you have to have him. The same can be with Son. People brought him in en masse after that hat-trick against Burnley. It didn't really pay off because of the Sheffield United game. Then he's got Arsenal and Liverpool, and the same conversation I think has to be happening with Maddison. After that, yeah, game week 9, Luton and Fulham, yeah, I'm definitely going to bring him in then. But they are expensive. How are you going to fit Son in, Salah, Haaland? It's going to be difficult. Maybe you plan ahead by just not having Trippier, and a Botman saves you 2 million. So that could be a way forward. But in the short term, I'm not interested in Son. I'm not interested in Madison. I think there's better midfield assets that will outscore both of those in the next 2 weeks. But after that, yeah, I want to be involved with them. That's it for this one then, guys. Thanks for watching and getting this far. If you are wildcarding for Game Week 6, let me know who you are putting in your side. Are there any players that you think are must-haves, or that those players I have not put in this side? In the meantime, we'll come back at you with watch list, team selection videos, all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe. In the meantime, take care, good luck, and I shall speak to you soon.